This is a GMC 2005 four-door. Paint job looks pretty good on it. $10,000. Don't see any real blemishes. The tires don't look too bad on it either. The body looks real good on it. Side mirrors look good. Couple little scrapes here. That's not bad. Got a liner in the truck. Body looks straight. I don't see any real flaws with it. These tires are close to needing replacing here. A few little scratches there. It's not bad. Receiver and plug in a liner. It don't look bad for the money. The 2005 GMC Sierra 1500. Looks like I'll say 140,000 miles. That's pretty low mileage on something like this. Yeah, 139, 2005. Hey guys, Gary J here. I bought this truck. It's a 2005 GMC with about 140,000 miles on it, which is considered low mileage for trucks, believe it or not. And we're making a few videos on this truck and some of the things I've had to do to it after I bought it. And it looks pretty nice on the outside, as you may see there. And the interior on the inside is immaculate for 2005. It looks really like the truck's only 4 or 5 years old on the inside, which means it's probably garage kept. And the engine runs like a sewing machine. You don't really hear anything. It's quiet. And but as with anything, I got a good deal on it. And the guy even knocked some money off of it because there was a couple of things I found that really had to be repaired. And so I'll get into those. But we'll be looking at some of the things I've had to do to this truck, and actually saved me a lot of money by doing them myself instead of paying a lot extra for a dealership to do it. I bought this from a very small dealership that had a bunch of vehicles, but this one had a few projects on it that are common to GMC and Silverados of this generation. So you may be interested in seeing some of the things that we can do to this truck as far as just bringing it back, as far as some of the switches like may not work and other things in it that we can repair and do a couple of things to it to make it a better truck. Again, it looks great for 2005. One thing on this truck here, look at the rims on it, look really good here. These are actually a 2007 type rims, I believe, instead of 2005, but they look good on here. And the tire tread's not too bad. Looking on the inside of this truck, the interior is what really amazes me. The driver's seat right here doesn't look like it has any wear to it at all. And it looked like one person may have owned this truck because it doesn't have any wear spots on it. And you can look at the top of the dash right here. It's not cracked or anything like that. This truck's been really taken care of. The instrument panel, all that looks clear. It's not scratched up. It does have an aftermarket radio in it. The air conditioning is really cold. The heater works great. There were a few things I found that did not work on this truck that I've repaired, and that's what some of these videos are going to be about. And a lot of these things are common to the GMC and Silverado. Just want to mention a few things that when I first got this truck right here, one of the problems was that when I got in it, the first thing I noticed was that when I turned the ignition, it didn't crank up. I had to turn it like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and finally get that one little catch to get it to crank up. And that was on the test drive of this truck. So after doing that, I knew I had to replace this switch right here or something, you know, because it couldn't crank it up. I mean, you could crank it up, but you got to fumble with it to get it just right. So number one, I knew that this was going to be a problem. Second thing that was a problem to me was when I closed the door on this truck. And when I closed the door, originally it was like that. This door had dropped just a little bit. The bushings were worn on the hinges of the door, and so you can make it close, but it should close easy, you know. But there's no riding up on this right here where that happens when it's severe. So I knew that when I closed the door that it didn't always close like it should, and so like that. So I was going to have to fix that. And the third thing was this console right here was broken in the back, and it was just setting on here. This whole piece right here is part of that console, that would have to be replaced. That's the third thing that I knew that had to be done. Now, I looked at the vehicle, and I didn't check every single thing on it, but when I did start looking at it a little bit closer, I found out that the fog light here, this button right here, wasn't working. So this is one unit right here. This is your cargo light, and this is your fog light. So I knew I'd have to replace this switch right here. That would be one thing too. So that's 4 things right there that came to play. The door looks pretty clean right here. Okay, we won't let it lock while it's running. That's good. The mirrors work good. The windows work good. The hood latch works good. Looking at the engine, it's kind of dusty right now, but really look good underneath here. It's got a new belt on it right here, and this is like a new idler pulley right there. And had to replace the air filter. The oil was changed on it at the little dealership, and I'm surprised they didn't change the air filter on it, but they didn't. Well, maybe I'm not surprised. And everything looks good under the hood. The transmission changes good. The engine runs quiet. And the truck was very quiet. I mean, you couldn't hardly hear it running. And I looked underneath the truck, and on the exhaust, I had the exhaust tailpipe was basically missing. It was like cut off from the muffler. Now this alternator, looking in there, that looks like a new alternator. Which that would be good if it is. And it may have a new water pump. I was looking at kind of the gasket on the side of it. But you can see like how clear that is for, 2005 GMC. And this is a 5.3 engine. All these caps right here look really clean. And that's a little dirty there, but I mean, this truck like it's been well preserved to me. And underneath here, this looks really good for a 2005. Odometer's 140,351 miles. Oil pressure is good. Voltage is good. Temperature is good. Needs gas. Auto